What's good people? Are you thinking about moving to Miami soon? The first question I have for you is why? There's so many people here already, traffic is crazy and it's silly expensive. But the second serious question is what exactly are you looking for? You see, a lot of people when they visit Miami, they hit up Brickell, they see Wynwood, they venture into Miami Beach, but they come and think like tourists, not like residents. It's a whole different ballgame when you live here versus when you're just sliding through for a little weekend fun. So before you sign that lease for the $4,000 a month studio, or before you sign for that $2.2 million mortgage, let me show you the real deal, the good and the bad of the hottest neighborhoods in Miami. Just a quick disclaimer here, if you don't know me, my name is Masakela. I'm a Miami-based automotive and luxury travel photographer. I've got an Instagram too, it's at MandelaMade, feel free to follow. But this video is about where to live if you're thinking about moving to Miami. I've lived in South Florida for over 10 years and in Miami-Dade County specifically for about half of that time. And I love exploring this rich, colorful, and vibrant city and county, and that's just driving around. But first, I just want to make sure that if you're moving here, that you're okay with driving around here too. South Florida relies heavily, and I mean heavily, on driving. Yeah, it could be your car, your friend's car, the Uber driver's car, your private driver's car, the cab driver's car, your motorcycle, your moped, your scooter, or even the county bus, but 99 times out of 100, you're gonna get around by driving. And unless you're living in really only a couple areas, mass transit has not really taken off like London or Amsterdam or Tokyo. Really not even like US cities like New York City, Chicago, Washington, DC, or San Francisco. We've got a long ways to go and the traffic congestion is awful. Not to mention Miami drivers are known for their casually reckless nature, and it's no wonder why our car insurance rates are among the highest in the country. Now, if that hasn't scared you away, you might as well subscribe to the channel for more automotive travel and Miami-based content, specifically around the travel and transportation niche. I really appreciate it. Okay, first we'll go over the hottest neighborhoods within the city of Miami proper. First up is the crown jewel of Miami, Brickell, the so-called Manhattan of the South. Complete with luxury high-rise condos, high-end shopping malls, fancy restaurants. See where I'm going here? Brickell is one of the priciest areas in the nation, let alone Florida. $3,000 or more for a 1-1 apartment is very common here, but oftentimes for residents, the experience is well worth it. Brickell is one of the few Miami areas where you can get most of what you need without a car. It's extremely walkable, mass transit friendly, and it's served by both Metro Rail and the Metro Mover that goes around downtown. There are so many bars, restaurants, and eateries here that you're not gonna get bored of them. Shopping is also optimal with the Brickell City Center in the middle of it all, and it's the embodiment of the modern Miami experience. But you're gonna pay for it. We already discussed the high cost of living, and with a new high-rise development being announced on a near daily basis, traffic congestion is not getting any better. Parking is expensive, and to me anyway, it's not super plentiful. Most just put up with it. They might park their cars in a condo garage and just walk around the area, or if they wanna, take the train to downtown for a Heat game or maybe an Uber to Miami Beach. Conclusion, you'll like Brickell if you've got money to burn, or you want to be in the trendiest neighborhood outside of anything in LA or NYC, sometimes even more trendy. Believe it or not, downtown Miami used to be the place to be. Top-notch clubs, restaurants, apartments, entertainment, shopping. It all used to be on the north side of the Miami River. But the decline over the past 30 years is evident. Roads in constant disrepair, shuttered storefronts line the historic flagler streets. Times have certainly been better, and the areas around it, Brickell and Wynwood, have really blown up over the past 15 years, and downtown has been largely left behind. That is until recently. Numerous renovation and demolition projects have started over the last 5 years to really make downtown a destination again. I think things really got kickstarted when Brightline came in 2017. A huge mixed-use complex called Miami Central was built to give the train passengers places to eat, shop, and live in close proximity to the train station. You know how other countries build their cities. Miami Central has been slow to take off, but Brightline has stuck through it all over the past 8 years, and finally, more commercial and residential building has started up. There's the Miami World Center, closer to Biscayne Boulevard with high-end shops and restaurants. There's a new mixed-use building close to I-95 with major retailers, and there's a relatively new Publix and Target adjacent to that Brightline station. And look, anytime Publix and Target show up, you know things are about to take off. So downtown Miami is on the come up. What can you expect? Expect traffic, since commuters and tourists alike like to come to downtown Miami. It's going to be expensive, but it's slightly less than what you'd find in Brickell. It's going to be grittier in these streets too, just because it's not as up to date and as modern as Brickell, but it is continuing to grow and evolve. And I know I keep comparing things to Brickell just because most out-of-towners know Brickell. But one thing downtown Miami has over Brickell is access to Brightline and Tri-Rail. Miami Central is the southern terminus for both rail operators, which is helpful for both commuters and tourists. You can connect to Metro Rail and a Metro Mover to get around downtown and Brickell via Miami Central, which is super helpful for those not planning to drive when coming to Miami. Who's downtown Miami for? An experienced urban dweller who's not afraid of a little traffic, some warts and wrinkles, and a few lost tourists. You can navigate cities with ease, don't mind a 15-minute walk in Miami's heat and humidity, and you can do without the trendy vibes that you usually find in Brickell and on Miami Beach. On to the next one. Miami's oldest neighborhood sure doesn't look like it these days. Somewhat secluded, Coconut Grove, or simply The Grove, is stacked with some of the nicest homes in Miami, a handful of luxury high-rises, top-tier restaurants, and a bunch of private schools. Like, there are a lot of school zones here. Something else that is prevalent here, and I know this sounds weird to say, but it's true, the trees. There are so many lush tree-lined streets through here that make Coconut Grove feel more like a rainforest sometimes than a coastal city. And I see what all those HGTV guests are raving about when they mention wanting mature trees. It really makes the area look more upscale. And upscale Coconut Grove is. There are less clubs and bars here, but more lounges and bistros. Once again, eateries galore, and that's par for the course almost anywhere in Miami. And there's a much more mature vibe here. The school zones are an inclination of that. Traffic through this area is really only crazy during rush hour and Friday and Saturday evenings. Otherwise, the residential vibe of the area is evident, with decent pedestrian and biking areas along the major streets. The roads in the Grove are often narrow, with residents opting to keep the tree canopies intact instead of sacrificing them for increased traffic flow. The busiest thoroughfares through here are South Dixie Highway, US 1, Southwest 27th Avenue, Bayshore Boulevard, and Ingraham Highway. Regarding mass transit, only the Metro Rail travels close by, with the Coconut Grove station at US 1 and 27th Avenue, but that does give quick access to Brickell and downtown with only a few stops to the north. Driving is still the preferred method of getting around. Coconut Grove is for those who are looking for a slower pace, somewhere where they can get a good sit-down meal, shop at a couple of boutique stores, get a couple of drinks, and then retire to their quiet residence. The demographic here is somewhat older and less tolerant of the rowdy excess that's more found in Brickell, Wynwood, and South Beach. If Brickell is like Midtown Manhattan, then Wynwood is like Williamsburg in Brooklyn. Over the past 10 years, Wynwood has evolved dramatically. Once an area to largely avoid, this area has emerged as a burgeoning arts district and is transforming into, well, I'm not exactly sure what it's turning into. There are still those beautiful expansive murals on the facades of high-rises and warehouses, but also being constructed are modern high-rise buildings that look at home more in Brickell, or maybe even Miami Beach, than in Wynwood. Nonetheless, the food options here are great, and there are plenty of club and lounge options in the area too. Wynwood draws typically a 40 and under demographic and can be very busy during the nights and weekends. Midtown is just to the north and east, and it's a pretty compact area, all squeezed into like a 3x7 block area. There's a mix of commercial retail space here, as well as numerous high-rise condos. It's one of the more upscale areas, and you also have Edgewater that's just to the east of that, and it's more of the same. Vehicular congestion is the common denominator for each of these areas. So who should move here? This area, to me, is for the young professionals and creative types. There's a strong party atmosphere here, especially in Wynwood, but it's not as haughty and pretentious as you may find in Brickell or Miami Beach. It's also expensive, but once again, not as expensive as South Beach or Brickell. Be ready for more time in your car or more Uber rides though. There's no mass transit options here yet. So that's it for the city of Miami proper. If you want a deeper look at getting around Miami-Dade County, I'm putting together the Miami Driver's Guide that will do just that. It will be packed with details about the road network here, insights into some more of the cities and neighborhoods, navigating the sometimes confusing toll road system, best methods of public transportation. I want it to be as comprehensive as possible. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you sign up for my newsletter to be notified of when it drops. The link will be in the description below. All right, let's keep going. If you're looking to be in other areas outside of the city of Miami, but still within Miami-Dade County, there are more than a few options. Here are some of the more popular ones for transplants. Probably one of the most aesthetically pleasing cities in South Florida, Coral Gables is a beautifully planned upscale community. Extremely lush and complete with a Mediterranean vibe, The city limits for the Gables are relatively narrow, but it's a tall city. It's largely residential except for South Dixie Highway, the shops at Merrick Park, and the few blocks north and south of the Miracle Mile. You know you're in Coral Gables when the traditional street signs disappear and they are replaced by these white stone intersection markers. Pretty cool. Aventura is retail sprawl with apartments sprinkled throughout. There are some nice condos and apartments and homes along the maze-like streets around the city, but it's strongly punctuated by the Aventura Mall, loads of stores and restaurants, very wide roads, and constant congestion. Ives Dairy Road connects I-95 with Aventura at Biscayne Boulevard, that's US 1, via a 1 mile long road. This road, expanded as wide as it can to 6 lanes, is gridlocked several times a day. And during peak times, it could take up to 15 minutes to travel that 1 mile distance. No list of places to stay in the Miami Metro is complete without mentioning Miami Beach. South of 5th in the South Beach neighborhood is going to be the most upscale, exclusive, and expensive. Ocean Drive, Collins Avenue, Washington Avenue, Lincoln Road, and Alton Road are going to be your major commercial thoroughfares. So anything outside of that is going to be a lot quieter. Not necessarily less expensive though. The areas to the north of Dade Boulevard, like the Nautilus and North Beach neighborhoods, are also quiet. Honorable mention of expensive areas in Miami-Dade County: Sunset, Glenvar Heights, Miami Shores, El Portal, Pinecrest, and Golden Beach. Many of the residential properties here are very expensive, especially for those single family homes, but the quality of life here is typically much better than in other areas in the county. So if your budget allows, it may be a good fit for you. All right, lightning round. Here are some one-liner descriptions for a few cities or areas that I would consider moving to if I was moving down here, but I didn't have an unlimited stash of money. Kendall, the quintessential Miami suburb with a healthy mix of retail, outdoor spaces, well-kept residences, and lots of traffic. Palmetto Bay, similar to Kendall, but on the east side of South Dixie Highway. Miami Springs, a tree-laden, tucked-away gem of a city that's close to the Miami airport. Miami Lakes, beautifully laid out suburb with good highway access and a charming downtown. Doral, if you can put up with some of the area's worst traffic and the strange zoning layout, it's actually pretty nice with great housing and retail offerings. Ultimately, Miami has a bit of something for everyone. If you want endless beach views, you can get that. If you want high-rise living, you can find it. Looking for a quiet neighborhood with amazing parks? Miami-Dade's got it. The biggest caveat is that anywhere in Miami-Dade County is going to be expensive. From the dusty abandoned home sitting under the Metro Rail tracks, to the beachfront studio, to the 4-bedroom single family home, to the 8-bedroom newly constructed mansion, it's all expensive. The question is, how much are you willing to spend to get what you want? And not to get all in your personal finances, but I advise you to do a deep search and not overextend your budget. There are listings that are under the median price. They come up from time to time in a particular area, but it does require some patience. And I see often, way too often, people living well outside their means just to snag a place in what they think is an upscale neighborhood, struggling to keep up a facade. Not an ideal way to live, and that it is what it is. The honest truth about Miami-Dade County: each town and neighborhood has its good areas and its bad areas. So choose wisely and happy searching. If you're new here, thank you so much for checking out this video. I did a video a few years back about 10 things that I wish I knew before moving to Miami, and I think that would supplement this video quite well. Be sure to check it out. I'll put the link in the description. And as mentioned, I'm also putting together that Miami driver's guide for visitors and future residents alike. If you want to be notified of when it is released, make sure to sign up for my newsletter. The link I'll also put in the description below. Let me know if you think I missed a neighborhood or a city. I didn't talk about all the cities I know, and I'm just trying to go through the popular ones, the ones that I hear a lot of people talking about when they're thinking about moving down here. But Miami-Dade is full of a diverse range of people, communities, ideologies, and seeing it all come together is really what makes Miami a very special place. Also, I didn't discuss Broward County, and there's a lot of people that do commute into Miami from the South Broward area, so maybe I'll touch on that in the future. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Peace and love, and bye for now.